Hello everyone and welcome back to SaiyanSquabbles. I am yours truly, Papa Ping Pong, here to bring you our look at all the green cards shown in the Unison Warriors series. So this is going to include the booster box and the starter deck. We're going to try to make it a little quicker than last time. Last time was about 30 minutes when I'm trying to shoot for about 15 to 20. So bear with me. So let's hop right into the green cards. Or quick question to you guys, let me know what your favorite green card is. I'm actually really interested to get the discussion going because I'm not super hyped for the green cards, but maybe you guys can change my mind on that. But anyways, so we got our first green leader, Son Goku from the Frieza saga. So this is not our first green Son Goku from the Frieza saga. But they have a lot of similarities as well. Don't mind that, sorry. So let's get into him. So Son Goku, auto, burst 3, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. Burst 3, pretty aggressive, but the draw 1 is pretty standard for a burst leader. And auto, when one of your battle cards is KO'd, you may flip this card over. If you do, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your energy, switch to active mode. So another really good effect that's reminiscent of the Vegeta from the starter deck, and something I expect us to see pretty much a lot going forward, just alternate awakening conditions, because we're at a point in the game where there's so many different win conditions and stuff like hand control where they'll crit you and stuff like that. So these early awakening conditions are going to be very helpful, especially with the archetype for Son Goku, because you're going to have a lot of Krillin blockers, and even occasionally a few Son Goku blockers, so KOing something is going to be really easy with this deck. But the alternative awakening condition is when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. Yeah, okay. And then we got Ferocious Strike, Super Saiyan Son Goku, keeps the same burst, but active main / battle, which got a lot of people talking. Once per turn, place 2 cards from your life in the drop area. Choose all of your battle cards and your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place them in their owner's drop areas. So that is interesting. I don't know how I feel about this leader yet. I actually don't think he's going to be best for a mono strategy. I think he's going to be best for multicolor, whether it be green-yellow or green-red. But we will see, because this guy can get Kaioken off pretty early, along with he gets to really fiddle around with his life, so the Broly SCR might be good for this. The once per turn is fine, and the fact that you can awaken when you're at 8 life with this leader is really good for that effect. But it seems like this leader is going to be focusing more around the Unison cards, because this only targets battle cards. And this leader, I think, is going to be mostly swinging by himself, and with, after all his blockers are wiped from the board, then you would use this effect. But anyways, we already spent too much time on that leader. So next up we got Green Ginyu. Interesting that we're getting Ginyu Force. We haven't gotten a Ginyu Force leader since the set 1, set 1, I believe. But anyway, so Green Ginyu. When this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Green Ginyu Force card with energy cost of 2, you may play it, then draw 1 card. Really powerful. Especially for what we're getting into. It's basically a straight up +2 if you see the Ginyu Force, potentially a +3 depending on what the Ginyu Force is. But it's good. It's really good support for an archetype that really doesn't have much. I'm expecting to see green-yellow builds of this deck, but I think this will even out to mostly mono-green, especially because I don't think this leader is that impressive. But Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 4 or more Ginyu Force cards in your battle area, another alternative awakening condition, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So Ginyu, new leader of the Force. When this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a green Ginyu Force card with energy cost of 2, you may play it, then draw 1 card. So same auto, and then active battle once per turn for 1 green. Choose 1 Ginyu Force in your battle area, and it gets plus 10k power. So basically a 10k combo piece for free, or if you're playing defensively. The auto is the best part about this leader by far, in my opinion. I think a lot of people will agree with that, but other than that, I don't really see a lot. I do see Cold Bloodlust if you run green-yellow, so Cold Bloodlust automatically makes a deck able to be talked about. But, by the way, I am not home, so that's why my audio is off. But we got our first Unison card, and this is an SR. So this card was one of the first revealed, and this has a lot of people talking. So Super Saiyan Bardock Paternal Unison. When your opponent combos, you may place up to 1 card from their combo area in its owner's drop area. If you do, negate the skill for the turn. Active main for +1, you may choose 1 of your green battle cards at energy cost of 1 and KO it. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So this is really good for Golden Frieza from set 1. green, yellow, like lemon, lime, golden Frieza, and then obviously the Goku deck, because the Goku deck, if you're playing mono green and you play a blocker turn 1, turn 2 you can play this guy out and pop the 1-drop blocker. And then your opponent discards a card, which is just extra, and because of how defensive this leader is, that dropping combo card is really powerful. And then active main for -3, he gets plus 5k power and triple attack, so it becomes a 20k triple attack. And odds are the turn you're doing that, you still have one of this auto effect. So I really like this Unison card a lot. So then we got Golden Frieza, Unison, and Malice. Active main for +1. Oh, it's 2 specified costs. These both are. I guess I should specify that. Draw 1 card, then choose 1 card in your hand, place it on top of your deck, and this card gains critical for the turn. So this will help you get rid of dead cards. And this works a lot for Ginyu Force, because you can put a Ginyu Force on top of your deck, then swing with your leader. And critical. Critical is always good. Critical is basically free for this leader. An active main for -2. Until the start of your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one of their battle cards that energy costs 2 or more and place it in its owner's drop area. I don't know how this is going to work against like Caulifla, the old SR, I believe. That's gonna be an interesting ruling, but I don't really know. I gotta remember the wording on that, but I like this guy a lot, actually. I think he's one of my favorite Unison cards, but he's also an SR. So yeah. So we got Demigra, a 1 specified cost, which is very interesting. Permanent. If this card would lose a marker from an opponent's attack, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand instead. That is really good, especially because his active main for -3 is kind of threatening. But his active main for +1 is he gets plus 10k power for the turn, so he's just a 15k turn 1 basically. He's pretty much like kind of like a self-awakener, like Gohan or something, now I think about it. But his second ability is -3 active main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So this can get rid of, you know, like Vegeta from Surge, if Surge wasn't getting enough hate anyways. Or Surge, U7 Son Goku, but, and just KOing something else. KOing 2 cards and 1's ignoring barrier is just super nice. I like this card a lot for a 1-drop Unison. So we got a rare Super Saiyan Son Goku, Pride of the Saiyans. He's a 5-drop specified green, 25k double strike. This card can't be removed from battle areas by skills. Auto, if there's a Son Goku card with an energy cost of 4 under this card and this card is in rest mode, when your opponent plays a battle card with an energy cost 5 or less, they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them. So basically the first card they're going to be playing for the turn, or first battle card, they're going to be playing for the turn, and this is an auto, not a counter play effect. They're going to be dropping 2 cards. This is also especially good against Topo. So your opponent's going to have to think really hard if they're playing red against this with Topo, or any counterplay heavy deck, slash counter attack. Auto, when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Board wipe, cool. I like this card quite a bit. So this is our target to go into it, I believe. Intensive Training Son Goku. Deflect barrier, naturally, if you want to get a critical part of the chain off. 4-drop 20k. Active main slash battle. If your leader card is a green Son Goku and you send a total of 5 green Son Gohan Youth, Vegeta, Bulma, Krillin, and or Piccolo cards from your drop area to your warp, choose between 1 mono green Son Goku with energy cost 5 in your deck and play it. Deck or hand, play it on top of this card, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. This is a lot like the Path to Godhood or whatever, the guy that goes into the Dawn of Divinity Son Goku. And so this guy is going to be coming out turn 4 basically, but he is not the only target. There's also the Clash of Fates Frieza Goku that I assume people are going to be running in this deck. That is a target. And with your leader's burst 3, and the fact that you're going to be critting your life to stop attacks, the 5 pieces are going to be pretty easy, but it is going to get pretty clunky if you want to run this guy. Like, it's going to demand a lot of deck space. Funny enough, I don't think people are going to be running this chain, however, I do like it. Moving on, Son Gohan, potential unlocked, unique, new trait, you can only have 1 on the board. Blocker, permanent, if your leader card is green, you have a green Unison card with specified cost of 2 in play, you can play him without paying his energy cost. Free blocker, if you have a Unison card out, cool. I can't speak on this because we don't know how good we don't know how good Unison cards yet, so I can't, it's hard for me to speak on those. Vegeta, the Lone Prince, super combo, permanent. This card can't be played with skills from any area. Auto, if your leader card is green and your life is at 4 or less, when this card is used in a combo, draw 1 card. Very similar to the Zeno. Auto. If your leader card is mono green, when this card is played, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Very powerful for a 1-drop. A 1-for-1 and potentially super combo. I'm very interested in what they're doing with the super combos, how they're making them like cantrips at the same time for mono leaders. Tis the natural progression of the game, I suppose. When you introduce dual color leaders, things get fuzzy. So this is I like him a lot, but I'm thinking these super combos you're going to probably want to go 2-2 with these in a multicolor if you're playing a mono-color deck, even though you're playing a mono-color deck. Then we got 1-drop Piccolo, Ultimate Power. I do like that a lot of these are 1-drops. It makes them not as dead in hand for the 4-drop Goku. But Ultimate Power Piccolo, if your leader card is a Green Sun Goku card, which there is a few, when this card is played, choose one. Draw one card, it gets plus 10k power. It's fine. I think there's other green Piccolos, like Assimilated Ability and stuff that I prefer to run. But, yeah, okay. Krillin, potential unlocked. So he's a 1-drop during your opponent's turn. If your leader card is a Green Sun Goku and your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of the card in all areas by 3. So during your opponent's turn, he becomes a 4 cost. When this card is played, choose one. Look at the top 5 cards from your deck. Choose up to 1 green unison with specified cost of 2 among them. Add to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is going to be a staple in the deck, in my opinion. And then the second one, this card gains blocker until the start of your next turn, which that can trigger the 5-drop Sun Goku from Clash of Fates that plays off of this guy. So Bulma, Life on Namek. So another 1-drop. When this card is played, you can search top 5 cards of your deck for a green unison card of specified cost of 2, or 1 green Saiyan with an energy cost of 3 or less among them. Add them to your hand and shuffle your deck. Really good searcher. Since you need Bulmas in the deck, it's probably going to be a staple. I can't think of any other good green Bulmas, so. Oh, the super combo. The super combo is pretty good. Yeah, okay. There's a Bulma super combo from Clash of Fates. But Frieza, Cosmic Horror, dual attack. When this card is played, choose one. So he's a 4-drop 20k, by the way. But when choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, choose one of your opponent's Unison cards and remove a marker from it. I don't know how effective the removing markers are going to be, so I really can't say. But this guy gets hit by almost every counterplay. So I don't know how effective it's going to be, but dual attack is always nice, of course. So Frieza, Terrifying Transformation. Auto, when this card is removed from battle area by a skill, draw 2 cards. I like that they're doing this because there's so much ward removal in the game. If you have a critical piece of a chain on the board that isn't protected by barrier, I like that they're giving them these skills that after they die, they get to proc. So draw 2 cards, very reminiscent of the Successor Cell. Will it be worth it to still remove this guy? Time will tell. But it's a 2-drop 15k, which is always just kind of nice. Active main for 1 green. Choose up to 1 green Frieza with energy cost of 4 in your hand or drop area and play on top of this card in active mode. So you can potentially play this guy turn 3 if you tap 2 for this, and then tap 1 and go into him. So that might make it a little bit more effective. Then we got 2-drop 20k Vanilla Frieza. I actually really like the art on that Vanilla, but then we got an SR, Frieza Charismatic Villain. This is reminiscent of the Trunks that we saw. Counterplay. You can't activate counterplay skills of other cards for the turn. Play this card from your hand. Permanent. When you have a green Unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. Auto. When this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 7 or less and KO it. Very interesting. I think if you're running this Frieza deck or like Ginyu, this isn't leader locked either, so you could run this in Lemon Lime Frieza. I think 1 or 2 of them would be good if you're running Unison, but if you're not running Unison, don't run this card. He is a 5-drop Frieza. I don't know if anything evolves off of a 5-drop Frieza. Honestly, I'm not sure, but I'll have to look into that. But he's alright. 7 or less and KO it. I think I would have preferred like a 5 or less ignoring barrier, but he's free, so you know, that's okay. Ginyu, Backbone of the Force. Active main, he's a 4-drop 15k. Active main. If you have at least 1 Raccoon, Jace, Goldo, and Birder in play this card from your hand, and you can't play an additional 1 for the turn. Cool. And it's going to be pretty easy to swarm him out. So, auto, when this card is played, choose a 20 of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. If you get control of a card, give control of this card to your opponent. A lot less barrier nowadays, so this effect might be really relevant. It really comes down to the Ginyu leader and how fast can you swarm. If you can get a swarm out turn 2, turn 3, it's going to be really effective, but finding a card to take control of turn 2 or turn 3, I don't really know. I don't know if that's really going to be the play. The only thing I can think of is against like Majin Buu, but Majin Buu is normally at Kid Buu by the time they're making any big plays, so I don't know. Ginyu, the Body Snatcher. So he's a 4-drop 20k, so vulnerable to all counter plays. Keep that in mind. Not all. When I say all, I mean the majority. Double Strike, this card gets minus 10k power during your opponent's turn. Active main, choose one battle card you gain control of from your opponent with one of your card's skills and place him in the drop area. Play this card from your hand. Okay, so you play that Ginyu turn 3 or 4-ish. Not really sure. And then you get to play this guy for free. And then auto, if your leader card is a green Ginyu Force, when this card is played, choose all green Ginyu Force cards in your battle area and they get plus 10k for the turn. And this includes itself because it's choose all. So it becomes a 30k. Okay, so you're probably going to want to make the swing with your opponent's battle card first, and then place it in the drop area and play Ginyu the Body Snatcher. So I like it, especially since it's playing that same turn. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so we got Raccoon the Musclehead, unique, 2-drop 15k, auto. If your leader card is a Ginyu Force card, not leader locked. When this card is played, choose one green Ginyu Force that energy costs 2 in your hand and play it. Cool. Jace, 2-drop 15k unique. When this card attacks, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Ginyu Force among them to your hand, then place the remaining cards on top or bottom of your deck in any order. That is very, very good for the Ginyu leader effect. So, and I assume this is going to be the same way as Tournament Power Arena. They all have to be on top or all on bottom. Alright, so moving on to the next page. Alright, so now we got Birder, fastest in the universe. Unique blocker. At the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. Then look at the top 3 cards from your deck and place them on the top or bottom in any order. So this guy's going to have a little more thought, in my opinion, when playing him, because you're going to have to think about the forethought of your leader swing, your draw for the beginning of the turn. But I still think this is probably one of the better ones of the package. And I did just realize, technically, you can run Broly in these new Frieza leaders, so keep that in mind. But Goldo, Psycho Psychic. Nice. So he's a 2-drop 15k. Saying that out loud is way more satisfying. But unique. If your leader card is a active main, if your leader card is a Ginyu Force, look Ginyu Force card, and you just card this card from your hand. Look at the 3 cards on the top of your deck, place them in the top or bottom in any order. Active main once returned. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and place them in the top or bottom in any order. That is actually really good. You're getting a lot of this guy. You can discard from hand to get an early lead, or active main. You can play him. An active main once returned, you just search top 5 and cycle for free. I think he's probably the best Ginyu Force member so far, or one of the best. Dodoria, Brimming with Power. Counterplay, if your leader card is mono green, you have a green Unison card in play. If the card being played is energy cost 2 or less, it's placed in the drop area instead of being played, then play this card. Neat. Dodoria, the Cold-Blooded. Auto, add 1 card from your left to your hand. When this card attacks, it gets plus 10k power and double strike. I'm wondering why they did this for blue and green. I figured they'd do like another critical and something unique with blue, especially because we just got the Zarbuto, I think, but it's still nice. A Frieza's Army, I think this is the first Frieza's Army Self-Awakener, so this might be really good. Zarbon, Victory Over Beauty. This card was interesting, because I originally thought it was a 2 cost. 2 cost, I thought this card was totally worth it, but 3 cost, especially 3 specified green, we'll see. 3-drop 20k, counterattack, negate the attack and play this card. Auto, when this card is played during your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, then choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand, discard it. 2-drop, this probably would have been way too powerful. But 3-drop, that's really tricky. I think it's really going to depend on your matchup. But then we got Zarbon the Gorgeous, super combo. If your leader card is green, your life's at 4 less. When this card is used in a combo, draw 1. Cool. Frieza, Dark Infestation. Double Strike, unique. If he's a 4-drop, 15k, so he is vulnerable to counterplays. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, when this card is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, add up to 1 green extra card with energy cost of 1 or less from your drop area to your hand. I like that it's any green extra card with energy cost of 1 or less, because that also includes negates and stuff. But active main, place this card in its owner's drop area, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand, discard it. So you're probably swinging Double Strike and then dropping this card. That's what I imagine. And then the auto would also proc off of that. So then Frieza, the Power Monger, 4-drop 15k once again, but deflect, so that's really nice and unique. And if your opponent has 3 more energy when this card is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, okay, so same auto as the previous one, and then active battle for 3 green energy. He gets plus 15k and double strike. I believe there's a way to cheat this guy out, so before I say anything, I'm gonna save it for that. So we got, maybe there's, we'll see. We got Dormant Potential Unleashed. So the SR negate, which I love this art a lot. I think it's one of my favorite looking SRs. I'm really hoping the negates get SPR as a set. Please, please, please. But counterattack for leader card is mono green. Choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to total energy cost of 2 or less and KO them. Additionally, you may choose 1 green card from your hand, discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack 1 more time this turn. Permanent. If you have green Unison card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So this actually does not negate the attack. It's just a counter attack. You're going to KO either 2 1-drops or 1 2-drop, which is really good. It's more flexible than Shocking Death Ball, and then it acts as a Nimbus if you discard an additional card, but that first attack is still going through. But this is a better Nimbus in my opinion because it stops Unison and leader cards. I think green has really been coming into its own this past few sets, probably starting since set 8. Green has really been becoming its own interesting archetype, and I think this fits in quite well. It's becoming a lot more defensive, a lot more like blue, but without the energy manipulation. But very, very defensive, which I like. But I love this card, especially because you can play it for free if you have a Unison card. But Blue Impulse, if your leader card, it's a 2-drop, by the way. If your leader card is green, you have a green Unison card in play. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it becomes a 1-drop. Active main, if your opponent plays a battle card this turn, choose all your opponent's battle cards and KO them. Cool, it's a board wipe. But your opponent has to play something during your turn. So this is something I definitely do in like the sideboard or something against something like Surge Broly. But then we got Dark Death Ball. If you have a green Unison card in play, if the battle card being played with energy cost 4 or less, it is placed in its drop area instead of being played, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 1 and KO it. Neat. Permanent. If all your energy is mono green, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by choosing 2 other cards from your hand and discarding them. Neat. This can save you, potentially. But you need to have a green Unison card in play. I don't know how useful these are going to be. Probably like a 1 of. But we'll see. Because Unison cards are a little clunky right now. But it's really hard to predict with how Unison cards are going to impact, especially because we don't have any real tournaments going on. I know the Super Players are doing a tournament, which I kind of wanted to join in on, but the time zones just wouldn't work for me with my work schedule. But, yeah, so next up we got 1-star Ball, Parasitic Darkness. I love that they're taking these from heroes. I'm really interested in these. But 0 cost. This card gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. Active battle. Choose one of your cards and gets plus 5k power for the battle. Cool. Active main. Choose one Frieza card with energy cost of 400 battle area and place this card under it. Play up to 1 green Frieza Zeno card in your deck or hand on top of the chosen card in active mode, then shuffle your deck to look through it. So we can get that Frieza out, the dual attack one, turn 3, I believe. So you can get either one of these out turn 3. Probably this guy. Because of Deflect, because your opponent's probably going to be keeping stuff open. I don't know, with this actually monocolor format, people might be tapping out a little more. I don't know. But I'm really liking all this stuff so far. But let's go to the starter deck and wrap this up. So we got Clan Collusion, the starter deck, and we got the leader, which I actually really like. Permanent. You can't include Saiyan cards in your deck. Auto. Choose one Frieza's army card in your battle area and place it in its drop area. When this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it, then add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. That's a lot of advantage, especially because a lot of the Frieza stuff is going to be proccing off of KOing. But Awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 1 card and switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode and flip this card over. A non-dual awakening condition, which is very interesting from what we've seen so far, so that's fine. He's got built-in self-awakening, so I think that's probably the trade-off, but Last Resort Frieza, 15k. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. Active main once per turn. Choose one Frieza's army card in your battle area and place it in its drop area. Choose 1 card in your opponent's hand, discard it, then choose up to 1 of your green Unison cards, and it gets critical for the turn. Cool. So you're probably not going to be running the Frieza in this. This is probably going to be more of the Bardock or the Demigra or this one right here. Frieza Zeno, Darkness Overflowing. It's 2 specified cost, 15k. Permanent. If this card would lose a marker from an opponent's attack, you may place 1 card from life in your drop area instead. So more built-in self-awakening in green. I like that they're having some recursion from the drop area, so that's not actually a bad effect. But for a +1 active main, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, draw 1 card. Cool. Cycle. Green has this thing where it can't have a bigger hand than your opponent, otherwise it'd be too powerful. So they always have the choose one card in your hand and discard it. However, I believe that can proc the Beerus, because Beerus specifically says not your leader card, but I'm not sure because that's an activation cost, so I'm not sure about that one. But active mean for -1, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that energy costs 4 or less and KO it, or choose up to one of their Unison cards and remove a marker from it. I think this guy's going to be seeing a lot of play because we don't have a lot of good Unison removal. And this guy is going to, just for -1, give another Unison a -1 to finish it off. Really powerful, I think. But then we got Ginyu, Frieza's greatest soldier. Auto, so he's a 2-drop 15. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your green, one of your leader cards or green Unison cards and gets plus 10k for the turn. It's not locked to a specified color leader either. But Auto, if your leader card is a green Frieza card, when this card is placed in a drop area from battle area by skill, you may return this card to its owner's hand. Cool. Zarbon, Frieza's right-hand man. 1-drop 4k. When this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add it to one green Unison card with specified cost of 2, or one green Frieza's army with energy cost 4 or less among them. Add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Also, I just realized you can go into surprise attack Frieza from the other Frieza, but let's ignore that. Active battle for one green. If your leader card is a green Frieza card, you have a Unison card in play, you send this card from your drop area to your warp. Choose which one of your leader cards or Unison cards and gets plus 10k for the battle. Cool. Basically, if you have no cards in hand, which is helpful for green. Dodoria, Frieza's devoted servant. So he's a 1-drop 4k. If your leader card is a green Frieza card and you have a green Unison card in play, if this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by a skill, you may play this card from your drop area. Interesting. So I think this guy works off the Frieza. Active mean for one green. If your leader card is a green Frieza card, you have a green Unison card in play, add this card from your drop area to your hand. So you can keep recurring him and keep repeating the effect. Cool. Cool. So that's going to wrap it up for the green cards. Again, this was longer than I wanted it to be. I want these to be quicker, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.